Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. I actually am recording this in my bedroom rather than the garage because I didn't really feel like going to the garage, so here we are. I still had my mic in my bag from getting home yesterday and unpacking, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to record it here. And unfortunately my roommate has now left, so I have the room to myself for a few days, which is nice, but also she's gone, and so the room feels really empty. Anyway, today I want to talk about my fourth week, which was Provo 6A, and I'm titling this The Right Place. First of all, I was walking on Sunday, grabbing a few things. I just parked my car, and I was walking towards the apartments with a few more things, and one of my coordinators from Kentucky saw me, and we were pretty far away, and he yelled my name, and I was so surprised how he knew it was me. I was kind of shocked, not going to lie to you. I actually recognized who it was because he just has this certain walk. But I asked him later how he knew it was me, and he was like, well, I have seen that dress in Kentucky a few times, and you had brown long hair and you were carrying stuff. So I was like, yeah, it's got to be Kyra. And he was right. It was me. So there you go. Anyway, to get started for the week, I was excited to be in Provo, but I was also a little bit nervous because there's FSY and then there's FSY Provo. And FSY Provo is like a whole different beast. It's obviously the same program and all the same schedule, all the same everything. But it is just different. It's just different. It's different in lots of different aspects. One of them is that the campus is pretty big and there's a lot of kids. And so you're running late a lot of the time. And that can be hard and frustrating, but also it is rewarding to know that since there are so many youth on campus, there are so many opportunities to impact and change lives. And so, anyway, it's fun, it's crazy, it's chaotic, but it's fun. So I wanted to start off by saying that I wish I took better notes. I have pretty good notes, but I don't have as good notes this week as I do the last 3 weeks that I did FSY. But I still have good enough notes, so I'm sure I can come up with enough stuff to talk about. First of all, I just loved my kids from that week, and I loved my girls. I feel like I really connected to them, and I actually was super vulnerable with them on Wednesday, but I'll get to that. Our company name that week was Stand Forever, and I just loved that the scripture talks about how all the kingdoms will fall except for the kingdom of God, and that one will stand forever. Monday was kind of a chaotic day, but one of the things that I wrote down is that something that kind of became a thing was cute questions. So the boys would ask questions, and I would say, "Aw, that's such a cute question." And it kind of became a little club, and they congratulated each other when they joined it, which I thought was so funny. One of the examples was, "Can I do a flip in our cheer?" And I was like, "Oh, that's such a cute question." And so it was kind of just like when you ask a question that, I don't know, it's kind of a no-dur or definitely not. But also I just think the kids are so dang stinking cute. And I say kids as a term of endearment, as in a term of love or affection. And I don't mean it as a demeaning way at all, so just so you know. Anyway, I just thought that they were so cute. I love spending time with them, and so that was kind of where that came from too, when they asked questions that might have been kind of silly or questions that kind of seemed like a question they should know the answer to. I just said, "Oh, that's such a cute question," and it was hilarious because they would like cheer and be like, "Bro, welcome to the club," and it was just freaking awesome. So on Monday, one of my boys, his name was Brock, he showed me that he had broken his leg and showed me the video of it and everything, and I was like, "Oh, that's rough." He was playing football at the time, and then it broke, and it was one of those breaks where it was pretty bad. The bone was separated and everything. Luckily, the bone didn't come out of his skin, it just broke in half, which is pretty awful, but it didn't come out of the skin, which is good. So we were actually trying to one-up one another with our broken bones. He was showing me pictures, and then I was showing him pictures, and then I was showing all the boys pictures. I was letting them feel the plates in my arm and the screws, and it just kind of became this fun little thing where we bonded over our broken bones. But it was kind of funny that we were trying to one-up each other. That evening we were setting goals, and one of my boys set a goal, and then at the bottom wrote by his name. So basically what the format is, we will or I will do this by this. And you're supposed to write a goal down, and then you're supposed to have a plan after by. So for example, I will learn the most I can from the classes by taking notes and paying attention and participating, stuff like that. So he wrote down a goal, and then he wrote by his name. And I just thought it was really funny. It was the best thing ever. So precious, so cute, made me laugh so hard. I loved it, loved it, loved it. Another adorable thing was that 2 of my girls left the little trash can in their door. In Provo, there's 3 doors, bedrooms, basically, inside a little apartment. And so there's a main door, and then there's 3 more doors of bedrooms, at least in Heritage, anyway. And so I told them I needed the trash can left in the main door so I could check lights. But my girls were confused, and so 2 of them, Lily and Janaea, left a trash can in their door. Not just the big one, but their individual door, which was just the cutest thing and so adorable. And it made me giggle, so that was adorable, and I had to write that down. One of the next days, I had one of these girls, and she came up to me. I won't reveal her name just for privacy's sake, but she came up to me. She wasn't one of mine, and she asked me if I could help her find her counselor. And I was like, okay. And so I tried to help her find her counselor, and we ended up finding her counselor, or at least finding her number. But her counselor was on break, and so she didn't respond. And anyway, this girl and I ended up spending about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour together. And we are advised not to counsel the youth, give them counsel as in medical, mental health stuff. So what I did is I just watched videos with her. And I had my earphones in my bag. And so I plugged those in, and we just watched a ton of videos. We watched a talk by Patrick Huron. We watched Where Love, Justice, and Mercy Meet, the little short film by Jeffrey R. Holland. We watched a video about a track runner, Derek Redmond, who tore his ACL again, and his dad helped finish the race with him. We watched You Will Be Found by BYU Vocal Point, and we just watched and watched and watched together, and so that was a cool experience. Another fun thing that we did was that it was the 4th of July, and so my company and I, and then all of the other companies in Provo, we got to watch the fireworks together. We ended up playing Mafia in the dark together outside on the grass, so that was kind of fun. Before watching fireworks together, some of my boys showed me how to shadow box, which is just kind of a fun little game. And then we also played concentration and Down by the Banks, which was so fun. Some of the boys weren't mine, but I really enjoyed spending time with them, and I actually got a picture with them on Friday. So that was cool. One of my girls said that today, or Tuesday, was really humbling because she originally asked to be picked up and then had a great day. And so she was like, today was very humbling that I actually had a great day even though I had originally wanted to go home. One of my girls gave me fruit snacks that said grumpy on the back because she thinks that I was grumpy that she didn't go to bed the night before. And I just thought it was funny and I laughed, so I put them in my backpack. And I enjoyed that. So, anyway. Okay, another funny thing that happened. This is an extremely, extremely chaotic episode. I apologize. My notes are not organized at all. So, anyway. My co said, "Gentlemen, the girls are showing up. You've got to be better." And I just thought it was funny, so I snickered. And one of my boys yelled, "Shut up!" to me. It was really funny. So, anyway, that was kind of fantastic. That was during gospel study, and I had break. But I was dropping something off real quick. And so when he said, "Gentlemen, the girls are showing you up. You've got to be better." And then I laughed. One of my kids was like, "Shut up!" And I thought it was really funny. So I just had to share that. My portable charger has come in handy many, many times. It's honestly just a serving opportunity. I use it, but I've rarely used it while I'm at FSY. I just use it to give to other people to borrow, or I take their phone and charge it for them. So I've used that so many times. It's not even funny. Another thing that I kept thinking about was telling my kids this story about this kid. Well, let's name him Tom, even though that's not his name. So I kept thinking about sharing this story about Tom. And I wasn't really sure. And then I went to a class, and the very first kid to read had the exact same name as the kid of the story that I was going to tell. So in this case, Tom. And I was like, whoa. In that class, it was actually really cool because we talked about how Jesus Christ can hide when his life is in danger, but when other people are in need, or other people are in danger, or other people need him, he will not hide. He cannot hide because he has moved towards compassion for us and will put us first. And then we saw many different examples in the scriptures where that was the case. On Wednesday, I had to check one of my girls out as well as her younger sister. And her younger sister was so cute. She was like, I'm really grateful I got to meet you, and I wish you were my counselor. And so that was just so sweet. And then the girl that was leaving said, you were such an amazing counselor. So that made me feel good. And it was unfortunate she had to leave early. She wasn't happy about it either. But she had some kind of competition at St. George, or some type of activity in St. George that she had to go to. And so she had to leave, but she was grateful she got to come. Then, that same day, I was on class duty, and 2 of my boys came down the metal stairs to drop some of their stuff off. And youth are not supposed to be over where I was at on class duty. But because they were my boys, I was like, whatever, let's just hurry and go and put your stuff away. And they're like, we've been trying to put our stuff away all day, and people keep just pushing us back. And I was like, okay, let's hurry and go do it. So we hurried and went and did it, and they were really appreciative. And I was thinking about that. Had it been another counselor, they probably would have said no, and they wouldn't have been able to put their stuff back. So I'm glad it was me, and I'm glad they were my boys, even though they weren't supposed to be over there. Games night was so fun. My kids went all out. I laughed so hard during the Sweetwater River game, where they have to act out stuff. So funny. Pizza night was really fun, and we bonded a lot. I actually got super vulnerable, and I shared that even though I'm 20, I still get insecure and vulnerable and doubt if I've made a difference. And my girls actually told me that they were really grateful I was so vulnerable, because I felt like they connected with me. It felt like I was very real and someone that they could relate to. One of my roommates, so another counselor, was puking in the middle of the night. And I remember checking my watch, and it was 2:57 a.m. And I kept laying there and feeling prompted to bring her a scrunchie or a hair tie or whatever. And I just kept feeling prompted. And it's like, you're not going to go to sleep unless you go bring her one. What if no one's holding her hair? What if she just needs a scrunchie? So I finally climb out of bed, and I grab a scrunchie, and I walk in there. And hers braided, so she doesn't need a scrunchie. But I ask her if she needs anything, and she was like, I actually really need an oversized shirt. Do you have a shirt? I was like, yes. So I guess it's hard to decipher the spirit and what the spirit's telling you at 2:57 a.m. Or maybe it was just this line upon line thing that it finally got me out of bed, finally got me over there, and then I was able to help her with what she needed. Another miracle that happened was that the next day I forgot my key and left it in my room. And then I had break that morning, but the health coordinator was coming to visit one of my counselor friends that was puking the night before, and she has a master key, so she was able to let me in, even though I had forgotten my key. So that was a huge tender mercy that we ran into each other, and I was extremely grateful for that. The next day, I prayed for all my girls by name in the morning, and it made a few of them cry, and in one of the notes that one of my girls wrote me, she actually said that the Spirit of Christ was in the room when I prayed. And I felt the Spirit when I read that. And so I thought that was really cool. And I think it's such a cool opportunity to have stewardship over these girls and stewardship over these youth, and be able to get the gift of discernment for them and know what to do to help succor them and be his hands for them. So I loved that. On Friday, we were taking pictures, and the sprinklers came on, and they actually sprayed me right before we took pictures. And I was like, you're joking. But actually, you can't really tell, so I was grateful for that. I was taking a nap on Friday, and one of my counselor friends woke me up by calling me, so that was funny. Going back to shadowboxing, I learned how to play it, and I thought it was so fun. I taught kids after that week how to play, and so it was kind of this fun thing that we got to do together. But I took a picture with those boys that taught me, and while I was on dance studio, they actually came over and was playing in front of me so I could watch, and that meant a lot to me, because sometimes dance studio is boring, but they helped it be less boring, and I got to spend time with them. One of my girls wanted to hang out. She was the one who actually gave me fruit snacks that said Grumpy, and I was really thirsty, and she brought me water, so that was really sweet of her. My kids said that they liked my laugh, which means a lot to me, because sometimes I'm like, it's so loud and obnoxious. And then this has never happened to me, but I had girls get me individual stuff. I got girls buy me stickers, and I had 2 of them buy me a necklace, and I had one of them that went in with another girl that bought me a little bracelet that said I can do all things. And then I got a pen that I've used a ton, and the necklaces are so cute. I've worn both of them. And let's see, stickers. Oh, and then I got some really sweet notes. And so I was just so grateful for that. And actually, I was surprised, but when I read those notes, I felt the spirit like twice, reading a few of them. So I thought that was extremely, extremely cool. My co that week was super on top of things. He loved to be on time. He wanted the kids to succeed. He wanted them to have a good experience, and so I really admired that and was grateful for that. The quote of the day, and I'm sorry this is kind of a quick episode, but the quote of the day is, "Your heavenly parents are reaching across stream and mountains and deserts, anxious to hold you close." That's by Jeffrey R. Holland. And I was actually thinking about what quote to share, and that picture came to mind, and I've made this quote a long time ago, and so I picked the picture for the background. So sometimes I see the picture and don't remember exactly what the quote says, but then I'll go find the quote based on the picture that I used. So that's been pretty cool. Anyway, your heavenly parents are reaching across stream and mountains and deserts, anxious to hold you close. And I have seen that again and again this summer, so I'm extremely, extremely grateful for that. And then the word of the day is rote, R-O-T-E. And the phrase is by rote. And by rote means mechanically, automatically, without thinking, parrot fashion, mindlessly, from memory, by heart. And so I wanted to share that I can now share scriptures and stories by rote, just without thinking about it, by heart. Don't have to, ponder too much on them. I just kind of have them automatically on my head. And so I think that's really cool. And I'm grateful that I have resources by rote, just memorized. So, yeah. I apologize for not having a super long episode today, but I just wanted to go over my notes, and there weren't too many. I had a really awesome week. I had a cool experience with testimony meeting and with being able to pray for my girls and being able to be vulnerable with them. And I was able to grow a lot with my girls, and so I'm excited to Zoom them later and just hang out. I loved all my kids, and I told them that I had a podcast, and they all said it was okay if I used their name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little video where they all say their name.
Jayton,
Julia,
Andrew,
Emily, Grace, Lily, Andy,
Jaden, Dylan,
Linnea, Leah, Lily, Kendra,
Bennett, Griff, Rhett, Jeffrey, Brock, Ian.
So my kids were silly, as you can tell, but I had so much fun. I created a video for them, a take-it-home video, and then I'm also going to create a little slideshow video for them when I have time this week, so I'm planning on doing that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to embrace imperfection, find meaning, satisfaction, and joy from the journey. I'm Kyra, and this is Imperfectly Broken, the podcast.